and welcome to this particular program that we have created known as Success Mantras. Okay, so let me just quickly give you a brief about what we wish to do, who am I, and as I go along with the session, let's take this particular time to understand what we speak. Of course, I'll intersperse it with my story of my life also. At the same time, something that could have significant takeaways for you also. First and foremost thing, I am an engineer by background. Okay, from qualification wise, I've been a teacher for almost now 20 years. I have been into corporate space. Out of that, probably pure corporate space also for another 12 years maybe. I've been a corporate trainer. So amongst all these things, I'm also inclined to learn our ancient scriptures, and do spiritual sadhanas and all of that. I'm an astrologer also, a consulting astrologer. I've been practicing that for almost 10 years now. So, there are various facets to my life, so far that I've lived, and it has been an experience-rich life, I would say. And I wish to, transform most of it, okay, of whatever I have learned, okay, most of it, to you today. So it's a very great opportunity, and I thank ITM, I thank Vidya, Mohsin, and the entire team for presenting this opportunity. And most importantly, I thank the Almighty, right, so that we could actually have a conversation, and my little bit of my experience could be conveyed to you. So let us begin with this positive note here. That first of all, let's understand this concept. Why we call it the program as Success Mantras. What is a mantra? Okay, but mantra. This word is in Sanskrit can be broken into two parts. It's called as man and tra. Man is our mind, and tra represents the vehicle. Okay? So mantra basically is the vehicle for our mind to travel, to go into a particular direction. And in this particular case, the success mantra simply tells us that we are going to come up with few mantras, some vehicles which can help our mind to go or navigate our life into a particular direction. Right? When we say the word mantra, okay, a lot of times, in our culture, Om is associated as a very, very popular mantra. Now, the thing with mantras is very interesting. I'll tell you a small story around it so that we also set a foundation for our discussion. There was once a disciple of a very learned guru. He went to the guru, served the guru, in his gurukul for many, many years. And finally, he said to his guru that, Guru, I have been with you for such a long time. I expect you to give me a mantra so that I can meditate upon it, use it, and transform myself maybe into liberation and other areas. So the guru said, fine, come close to me. In your ears, I will recite this particular mantra, and that you have to carry it forward. So, he brought his ears closer, and the guru said, the mantra that I'm going to give you is Om. And the Shishya, first time he was listening to it, and it's said with such a important seriousness that he thought, okay, this must be a very serious mantra, right? He went out into the forest, started meditating upon. So he started chanting Om, 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 right? And then when he was doing that, he saw somebody just taking a bath in the local river there. And that fellow, okay, ordinary person, while bathing also towards the sun, he just bowed down and also said, used the word Om when he was also bathing. The same Shishya also saw people in the market also, sometimes, praying to the, deities and saying Om. He saw people of different categories, people of different castes, different backgrounds chanting the mantra Om, okay, in their everyday life. Some were praying, some were doing the daily course. He was confused. He said, my guru said this is a very secret mantra. In fact, he told me in my ear, right? And now everybody is talking about it. So he went back a bit furious now because he had spent so many years serving the guru, right? He went to the guru and asked, Guruji, you said this mantra is very holy, this is very sacred, very secret, right? What about it? Everybody is talking about it and everybody is chanting it. The guru smiled and said, okay. He went inside, bought a small rock, and gave it to the disciple and said, go to the market and find me the value of this rock. Don't sell it. Find me the value of the rock. The Shishya said, okay, fine. This also I'll experiment. He went to the market, and went to the first person that he found. That person was a Raddiwala, a person who used to, exchange junk with some money. He took the rock and said, I can give you 2 coins for this. This is just a rock. I'll probably keep it to balance my scales. That's all. I can't use it otherwise. So 2 coins I can give you. That's the value I see. So the Shishya said, fine. He took the rock. Okay, went to a trader and gave him the rock. The trader looked at it and said, probably looks like some antique piece. Okay, maybe I can give you 10 coins. Okay, the Shishya said, fine. 10 coins is the value now. All right. Then he took it to a jeweler. And the jeweler, a very honest man, looked at the rock and said, son, this is invaluable. Okay, I cannot even begin to tell you how much the price of this particular thing should be. But however I give or anybody gives, this rock still has got more value than that. It's a very rare rock. Where did you find it? Right? So immediately the Shishya took the rock, okay, hid it, and immediately ran back to his guru and said, all the things that had happened, he just conveyed to the guru. So that's where the guru said, that is how, exactly like this rock is the mantra Om that I gave you. For that matter, any mantra that anybody gives. The mantra can mean different things to different people. Okay. Some people, like in this particular case of Om, would use it for their liberation. Somebody would just use it as their daily chores or daily praying with. They would just utilize this particular Om. Some people would meditate upon it and discover themselves. Okay, and some people would be just right. This just another word that we write. That's all, right? So the effect of any advice, any mantra, any teaching is also always like that, my friends. When you receive it, okay, it depends. It really depends. The value is actually not created by the guru. It's created by the shishyas. It's created by you today, who will take these mantras that I'm going to tell you, right, and apply it in your life. Some of you are fortunate to now, be online and listen. Some of them are not. Some of you will take it to their heart and apply it and make a success out of life. And remember this session 10 years, 20 years later and say that, that was a helping point in my life. But for some people, again, to be very honest, this will not have any effect at all. Okay. And that is not, the problem with the mantra or the person saying it per se. The intentions are always good. But the problem is always with us, the people who receive such learnings. So remember in life, whenever, you get a chance and opportunity to learn, it's finally how you have taken it that matters. The subject, the topic, the book, the person teaching it, okay, everything, disappears if you are in complete line with whatever the learning is. Look back to your life, okay, and all the years that you have spent so far educating yourselves, okay, probably 15 odd years that you have spent in your life so far, learning and understanding things and subjects and, syllabuses and so many things. If you actually cross-check, wherever you have applied yourselves, wherever you have taken the subject to your heart, you have probably developed a mastery over it. And where you have not, you know by yourself that you have struggled it very nicely also. Even in this particular course that you have underwent, I do not know, okay, what background of MBA you are from and all. That really doesn't matter for me, okay. What it matters is, in a few years, you will be probably out in the real world and facing the challenges posed by the world. Okay, so the mantra that I am supposed to offer you has to have a meaning, okay, going forward in your life. And that's why, we call it as success mantras. I believe, and I strongly believe, and I have, set an example in my own life using that, is that man is designed, okay, man is programmed for accomplishment. He is engineered for success, and there are seeds of greatness within each one of us. Man is designed, he's actually programmed for greatness, okay. But when I say this, some of you may say, then why is not everybody achieving greatness? What is the problem then, right? The problem is, we sometimes doubt our own greatness. And sometimes we fail to utilize or realize and plan, our journey in such a way that, our life could be different from others. We sometimes, willingly, unwillingly, we accept a mediocre life. That is the reality, okay? See, we are all different. If man is really programmed for greatness, yes, but we are all different in that sense. We have been given different gifts. Some of you may be good in speaking. Some of you may be good with numbers. Some of you may be very good with analytical strategies. Some of you must have realized that your communication skill, your negotiation skills are better than others. We all have different skills, and they are all great things, and we must hone them. And they are given to us so that we can accomplish great things in life, right? Only is that we must learn how to utilize these gifts and channel our life in the right direction. Okay, so why doesn't everybody become great? Is because people do not work towards becoming great. Okay, it is like if I ask in an audience, how many of you want to go to heaven? Everybody will raise their hand, but nobody wants to die. It is like that, right? So everybody wants a change, but they don't want to change themselves, and that is where this cord gets stuck somewhere, and the rate of success that is expected doesn't really happen. Okay, the simple truth is then that if you want to have something, if you really dream about something, if you plan for something, you must badly want it. Now, this is a very simple statement that I'm making. You must badly want it. You want it so badly that nothing else will do. Okay, you will not want anything short of what your dreams are, your goals are. If you are that desperate, if your affinity is that high, only in that particular case can success walk towards you. So friends, if necessary, write down, memorize, take to your heart, okay, the mantra that I'm going to give you, my first mantra, okay, that I'm going to talk about, 4 simple words. Where focus goes, energy flows. Remember that. Where focus goes, energy flows. You must have heard about terms like law of attraction, all right? Law of attraction, you must have seen Om Shanti Om Shah Rukh Khan saying that जो चीज शिद्दत से चाहो तो कायनात जुड़ जाती है मिलाने में वगैरह वगैरह, right? That is law of attraction. That's very right. Okay, you must have probably even read the book The Secret, or even better watch the movie. Yes, law of attraction is what I'm talking about, but I'm just cutting all the frills around and telling you the very simple facts in as little words as possible. Where energy goes, or where focus goes, energy flows. Energy has a habit of going into that area wherever your focus goes, and this I'll prove you in some time, right? The way the nature works is exactly like that. So let's take a small demonstration to understand, does really universe work that way? Okay, does the universe have this way of attracting things, okay, automatically, right? Why do we say this so confidently, and why do all these speakers and all these self-help book talk about law of attraction so much, right? On the chat, everybody, I'm asking a simple question. Okay, let's develop an answer for that. If you are lighting a matchstick, okay, the direction of the fire, where is it? Is it pointing downwards or it's pointing upwards? Matchstick, candle, anything? Yeah, always upwards, right? See, what I am just trying to put up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating. Please be participative so that I also understand that you are in sync with what I'm saying. Thank you, everyone. Now, see, each of these elements that I talked about the earth element, Prithvi Tattva. I talked about the water element, Jal Tattva. Okay, and I talked about the Agni element, fire element, right? Same way, we can also talk about the Vayu Tattva, air element. If I take air, try to maybe store it inside a balloon or some kind of container, and I put it inside water, and the moment I open it or I pierce the balloon, I find that the air escapes back into the air upwards. Why I'm saying this, why is the reason that I'm talking about this, is because each of these tattvas is demonstrating how nature works. Look at sand. When you said little sand in your hand always goes down back to the larger earth, basically its own tattva, isn't it? Water, rain droplets, ultimately the last drop will also try, the river, the pond, the lake always tries in some or the other way, right from the mountains, it will try some or the other way to reach the ocean. This is how it works. Okay, that's because the ocean is the largest source of energy as far as water is concerned, and every water droplet tries to find its way towards the ocean. When we talk about air, okay, air also wants to escape from that balloon, from that water, and go back into the larger source of air. Fire, very interesting one. Fire, you said, is pointing upwards. What is there upwards? Okay, You have the biggest source of fire there upwards, that is sun. It is pointing towards sun. It wants to reach there. That is how nature works. Okay, all the pancha mahabhutas or pancha tattvas that we talk about, every tattva in this particular world that we are made up of is ultimately, constituted out of these five elements. And these five elements basically tell us that, if you have a kind of energy, it will always gravitate towards its similar and larger reservoir of energy. If you are positive, if you are focused, you will end up meeting focused people in your life. If you are positive, if you are success oriented, you will end up meeting resources that are associated with your success in your life. There is no other way that it can happen. If you are negative, if you are in a shell, you will only attract and get attracted to more negative things. If you are not hardworking and if you are not planning, if you are lazy, okay, if you are lethargic, you will attract the same energy in your life. Friends, that's a simple rule. Where focus flows, energy also flows in that same direction. It's as simple as that. Okay. So what should we do, therefore? What should we really, and how do you use this particular law of attraction in our lives is what I'm going to talk about primarily today. And, two words to just, put that in perspective is cultivate desire. Always cultivate desire. Okay. Let me tell you, everybody wants to be successful. Everyone, किसी को भी पूछ लो, successful होना है, right? क्या करना चाहते हो? Ask them. And I'll tell you, 10 में से 8 people do not know what they want in life. They do not have an answer to this. Successful होना, yes. बहुत पैसा चाहिए, yes. But करना क्या चाहते हो? People really do not have an answer towards that. If they have an answer, okay, then I would say they have cultivated a desire. Unfortunately, people do not have a strong desire. Friends, desire is so powerful that not only it will attract all these resources positively towards you, but it will also help you in planning, and it has a real major role in planning. It will help you to plan how you also want to go about achieving your desire. If you really want to do something, it means that it is something you are going to think most of the times. You are going to talk about it most of the times. You will be talking to your family, you will be talking to your friends, you will be talking to your teachers. You will be discussing this in forums. And the more you spend your energy and focus on that, interestingly, people, objects, skills, resources, they will keep coming, chasing you until you achieve this particular desire, right? And that's how, I strongly recommend these words. Cultivation of desire is extremely important. Okay, all of you are, I'm assuming in your final year of MBA, or probably in the coming year or two, you are going to enter into the industry, enter into the outside world, and create a niche for yourself. Whether it would be a job, whether it would be a business, whether it would be some kind of service that you are thinking of starting. I would say, have you, or I'm asking you rather, have you planned or have you created a clear blueprint of what your desire really is? And this applies to not only students here, this applies to even faculties, and my friends out there, all of who are going to listen to this particular lecture, even in the recording, that, you have to ask yourself, have you really cultivated and planned what you really want? Okay. Desire, if it is there, it triggers planning, as I said. Second thing it always triggers and gets from you is accountability. Okay, it is that ingredient that enables a person, sometimes with average ability, okay, to compete and win against others with more natural talent, right? You will find that people who succeed in life generally are the ones, okay, who might not be the greatest in terms of talent, but will be always the ones who have a very strong desire, who are very focused, okay, in their particular desire. As I said, everyone has the potential. It's what you do with that particular potential that matters. Desire can motivate you the things to do that your competition might not even think of. So friends, no desire, then no motivation. It's as simple as that. Okay, desire is absolutely important, and that's the reason why I'm stressing so much on it. That so many people that I meet, so many people who attend success seminars, read self-help books. If you actually ask them, what is that you really want? How are you seeing yourself in the next 5 years? They really do not have a plan. So first and foremost takeaway that should be from this particular session should be that you have to sit down today and ask yourself, what is that I really want to do? Okay, karna kya hai, right? And then as you start thinking about it, associate and start mapping it. Desires can change. Today you are planning something, tomorrow it can change. But ultimately, you have to sit with yourself, meditate upon it, seriously ask yourself what is that you really like, what is that you will enjoy doing, what is that your passion is, this and that. But ultimately that desire has to come. It could be anything, as I said, it could be in terms of making a business, it could be becoming a successful professional, it could be having great relationships in family. Everything without a desire, you can never achieve it. Okay. Most of the people end up becoming like zombies. They just let things happen around them. Life pushes them in one direction and in another direction. That is all great, right? And ultimately, if they're lucky, they land up somewhere. But still, even when they land in successful position, sometimes they do not have the desire to take it up, right? It's in your control, friends. Your actions are always under our control. The fruits are not probably, but the actions are always under our control. And if you have never had a desire, it will never transform into any form of actions, mind you. So when we talk about desires, we sometimes think as a student that, oh, it's such a simple idea, all I have to do is desire, all I have to do is constantly think about it, talk about it, and so ho jata hai, right? Unfortunately, it's not that simple, isn't it? Life is tough, and many times our best of the plans that we make flop. Okay, look at this particular year itself. Multiple businesses must have planned so many things for 2020, right? At the beginning of January, they would have created so many different maps and milestones that they have to achieve. What happened? Did it all work out? No, most of them would have flopped. Even people who had planned that मेरा career ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये साल में मेरे को इतने appraisal मिलने चाहिए. Some of them are out of job right now as we speak, right? So plans flop because times change, environment changes around us. So the desire that you have inside, the planning that you have made sometimes can also be very, very difficult to sustain, right? And this is where you need two strong components always as pillars to help you in the area of your desire. Okay, the two strong components. One of them I'm going to talk about first is commitment. Okay, चाहिए तो लिख के ले लीजिए. Cultivating desire, okay, is one. Okay, and within that you have first pillar of it, and that is commitment. Now, what is commitment? Commitment is the one that is able to produce focus. Okay, commitment is really the difference between great players and ordinary players, right? When I talk about players, I associate a lot of my talks with cricket. It's a fantastic example sometimes to speak about cricket and the way sportsmen have achieved a lot. Commitment is extremely important because it helps you keep your focus straight where you want to. You do not get distracted. Okay, you really do not get distracted. There is a Urdu poet by the name of Tahir Faraz, right? I'll just narrate two beautiful lines that he writes. It's actually related to romance, but applied in regular lives also. It says, "Usne उलझा दिया दुनिया में मुझे, उसने उलझा दिया दुनिया में मुझे, वरना एक और कलंदर होता." राइट? उसने उलझा दिया दुनिया में मुझे, वरना एक और कलंदर होता. It's a romantic poet. The complete line is, काश ऐसा कोई मंजर होता, मेरे कांधे पे तेरा सर होता. Right? But I'm not interested in the second part. I'm interested in this first line. It says, उसने उलझा दिया दुनिया में मुझे, वरना एक और कलंदर होता. People sometimes say, मैं सक्सेसफुल होता था, बट ये हो गया मेरे साथ, राइट? I did not have enough money, otherwise I would have launched a business. I did not have enough support from family, otherwise I would have become great. My boss was not great, that's why I could not become great, right? I was stuck in family situation, okay, I could not rise above it. My health was very bad, therefore I could not reach there, right? People come up with all sorts of excuses ultimately. As I said, when the plans fail, some excuse, somebody has to be found to blame. And that's what most people spend their energies doing. And that's, as I said, where focus goes, energy will flow. And if that is what you are interested in, that is what will keep happening. So please understand that blame game doesn't really become equated with success ever. And that's where, when you talk about this term distractions, setbacks, challenges will keep coming in life, and commitment is something that can help you to remain focused. I'll give a simple example. Cricket की बात कर रहे थे. There is a 664 run partnership between two players from Mumbai. Right? Anybody cricket fan here knows this partnership is between whom? 664 run partnership between two batsmen in Mumbai. Anyone knows it on the chat? Yes, thank you, Priyanka. It is between Sachin Tendulkar and his childhood friend Vinod Kambli. Okay, now 664 may say, if I am not wrong, okay, Kambli scored more than Tendulkar that day. Okay, I think somewhere around 349 or 350, if I recollect, was Kambli's score. Tendulkar scored less, right? And still the world knows whom, we know it much better, right? Commitment is therefore very different from talent. Okay, commitment is extremely different from talent. And if you have parents, elder siblings, who were in that particular era when Tendulkar was coming up, Kambli was also there in international cricket. You would know, and even international players telling about it. Any given day, people would say, even Indian greats have said this. Any given day, Vinod Kambli was a better batsman than Tendulkar, right? But what Kambli lacked was this small word called as commitment. What Tendulkar had was commitment in abundance. Okay, when nobody would be watching, okay, when the sets were, where the nets were on, when the ground had only one flashlight running, Tendulkar would be still practicing in the middle of the night. Whereas Vinod Kambli, unfortunately, it is said that he would get involved in all the fame and glitz and distractions that such a sports professional life usually attracts to. He got carried away somewhere, okay, couldn't focus, and therefore as I said, wherever your focus is going to go, energy is going to flow. Sachin Tendulkar, okay, remains a mark of somebody who had talent, of course, right, but he augmented it with his commitment. Now, that's a big difference. Okay, we are in this era where unfortunately information technology has created such a huge volume of information that information is a boon as well as a bane. Okay, आशीर्वाद भी है और श्राप भी है, right? If you get distracted, carried away by this information overload, then you are distracted. But if you know what and how much to see out of it, how much to focus on, when to focus on, probably you are on the right track. And this, a lot of people listening would know that we sometimes spend our entire day whiling time on social media, and it's not going to do us anything in return. It's not of any help in return. We just while our time, comment unnecessarily, our likes and dislikes. Who cares really at the end of a professional career? Who really bothers about all this, right? You need to focus that, is it associated really with something that I am planning to work on? Is it something of use to me? Is it of something use to the society through me? Yes, then I will spend my time on it. Otherwise, let's move on. Let's learn and make use of this information positively. It's a very positive thing that is happening, this information overload. When we were growing up, probably that information overload wasn't there, and therefore we had to read from books, ask people, rely on communicating with people. But I think this present generation, this time is so rich with information that if somebody is not making use of it, okay, is making a grave mistake. So information overload is something that is there. It's up to you whether you get distracted by it or not. So it's like cricket. Back to cricket, if I say if you take your eye off the ball, if you're not focused, right, it's going to either hit you and hurt you, or it would be a very simple ball and you have just missed a scoring opportunity. So commitment is an important key that is always a strong pillar of the desire that we speak about. People who are committed, realize that they have to do specific things to get specific results, and they know the results, and when they get the results, they know what they really want, and when they get it, they identify it, and then they know that they are on the path of success. They therefore don't get confused. Okay, no commitment and only desire doesn't work. If you are having only a lot of desire but no commitment, okay, after a few days you are again going to come back and reevaluate. Arey, kya chal raha life mein? Okay, why things are not happening? The things are not happening because commitment and focus is missing. So friends, that's one pillar, commitment. The second thing that, and the very important thing that I'm talking about is, if your commitment is on, if you're really, fueling to desire, and you really want your desire to be more stronger, okay, more perfect, more accurate, and the second thing that is going to be there and that should be there in your life is perseverance. Perseverance is basically holding on to something so badly, so desperately, and not giving up under any kind of circumstances. What happens is, when somebody says, why are not everybody successful? One strong reason for that is when people get too much resistance in life, okay, they simply, go two steps back and they start doubting themselves. And that's why, people do not succeed. Okay. Have you heard about a company called as Rovio Entertainment? Anyone?
So cartoons, making a cartoon characters.
Yes, accepted. I didn't get your name, sorry.
Pranshu.
Pranshu, you're right, but what is it famous for? It's famous for one brand that they have created. I'm asking that.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay, let me tell you the Rovio Entertainment story. Founded by three students, okay, just like you are, founded by three students who passed out of a course from Finland. Three students, right? They started, as Pranshu said rightly, they focused their whole idea was getting into the area space of entertainment, cartoons, games, and things like that. They made one game after the other. 51 games they made, and all of them were super duper flops. Okay, the person who was funding them stopped funding them. They went into a bankrupt state almost. The last game that they thought of coming together and making it, when they were nearly bankrupt, okay, the 52nd game that they made, do you know which one is? You must have played it also. It is Angry Birds. Malum hai? Angry
Yes, sir.
Birds?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Angry Birds comes from Rovio Entertainment, friends. And by 2014, abhi ka to theek hai, abhi to internet boom, mobile boom in India, Jio and all have changed the landscape altogether. But by 2014, can you believe, okay, Google Play Store, Apple iStore, all of them, okay, recorded 2 billion downloads of Angry Birds, right? Rovio Entertainment just showed us what it means not to give up and stick to an idea. You stick to an idea. If you find that idea is very, 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 very endearing, you never give up on that. Their success is not much about talent. It's not much about commitment. वो तो था ही, but their success came when they did what I just told you, perseverance. Now today they have a full franchise, right? Multiple games that are successful. Today Rovio just has to launch a game just like that. Even if it is half programmed, even that will be a semi-hit, right? Not only that, they have Hollywood movies franchise also associated with them, right? They have gone big now, right? But at one point of time they would have also doubted, what am I really doing? What are we actually spending time on? The world is moving in a different direction. Is this really valuable or not? They would have also doubted. But the thing is the planning, the vision, okay, the opportunities that they took, and most importantly, perseverance, right, on whatever you have planned is extremely important. Situations, okay, environment, look at the present scenario now. You will get knocked down, okay, but you're only beaten, you're only defeated if you stay down. Okay, staying down is your choice. Beaten down, of course, the environment is going to beat you, the situations are going to beat you in life also. But are you going to stay down only, or are you going to get up and rise? Okay, that's ultimately your choice. Now, this is where, friends, I think, I would want to talk about a bit about myself. And as I said, I always say that if my experience in life can be of use to even one of you, right, and one of you gains from it and takes up in your own life, I think I would be, much glad that this particular session happened. Completed, and I was always focused on studies. I really knew that ultimately, in life, I had seen people, I had seen, how much respect engineers got, how much respect MBAs got, And I knew very well that, ultimately I have to be an engineer. That is step number one. I completed my electrical engineering in year 2001. In 97, when I started with engineering, I took up electrical or electronics I could have taken. I took up electrical engineering, okay, went ahead with it. I thought, this is an evergreen field. Probably I'll learn, I'll get more ideas and all of that, right? Engineering, of course, helped. My, friends, the company, the teachers, they're all good, right? And when in 2001, I thought to myself, the world is changing. It is not like 4 or 5 years back. 4 or 5 years back, the IT boom hadn't happened. 2001, the IT boom had happened, and I could also see that programming software, okay, would be in much more demand. What I realized is, however, is that it's not very easy to learn. So first plan that I had was get myself skilled in the area of IT. I started learning C programming, C++, Java, all by myself. I'm a self-taught guy that way in programming area as such, right? And when I started learning, I realized that this is not easy. For me, who was coming from an electrical field, never had programmed in his whole life, coming to somebody to some profession like IT where you need strong programming skills to really work in industries, I realized that okay, I will have to probably learn it, okay, much better, and in a way where I can outsmart other people. So when I started learning this, I realized that learning is not easy. So there is an opportunity here that if somebody can teach you well, okay, there is a market for it. Okay, and C++ and all these programming is where people wanted to get into, the newer generation wanted to get into, and therefore, very simply, I started going into colleges, taking lectures, and started setting up my own institute associated with programming related teaching. My goal was very clear. You are a student, you can come to me and learn. You are a professional, you can come to me and learn. If you want, irrespective of the age, irrespective of your background, okay, whatever time you want, I'm always ready to offer service. From morning 7 o'clock till night 10 o'clock, I would be teaching people programming. And when programming happened, courses in Mumbai University started happening around programming, in terms like BSc IT, BSc Computer Science, they all started gaining momentum. And I immediately knew I was in the right field because the market is also aligned to my training now. Slowly, I started training engineering students also within that bracket. And I moved on to create an institute that spanned 7 different branches within Mumbai, okay, at one point of time. Right, I started somewhere in 2003, and by 2010, I had 7 branches spread across Mumbai. Right, one in Dombivli also, by the way. Right, so I was, very, focused on what I wanted people to tell or talk about me, how I wanted to be projected, and with that intention, when I went in, I moved from being Satish Menon to I became Satish Sir, right, and one very clear vision that I had at one point of time was, there should be one time when in Bombay, when people say, okay, somebody can teach programming, at least in the top 5, I should figure myself out. And that happened because, very soon, around 2009, right, L&T Infotech, the HR manager called me up and said, are you Satish Sir? I said, yes, right, I'm calling from L&T Infotech. And I have a lot of students who you have trained in my current programming jobs and team leads, and so many people that you have trained are currently doing these positions, and they have told me that they've been all trained by you, right? So is it possible for you to have a corporate program back here in L&T? And friends, I went on to train in corporates then after that. Okay, I not only trained at L&T but also at Siemens, at Atos Origin, at Capgemini, at Accenture, so many different IT companies. I have been a trainer constantly, not only just in technical space but also in behavioral space with Airtel, right? So many different companies I got associated with. But the thing is, I also kept on, learning and adding more and more skills to my life as I went on. So, do you think, it is possible without first planning? It is not possible, right? So, given that fact, friends, always be open to what is happening around you, prepare your desires around it, okay, focus and commitment around it, and more importantly, if the tough time comes and if you are very sure about your idea, keep it flexible, but always persevere, okay, as I say. So, desire enhances your ability to plan, as I mentioned. Okay, planning is the first step to be successful. If you want to be successful, plan to be successful, I would say. Only then you can be successful. Unfortunately, people resist making a plan. And once you are getting conditioned to the way the world operates, you will get stuck more and more into it. And as I said, these are a lot of negative influences that will come to you. Okay, and they are very sweet influences, like your colleagues in office. They will sometimes be so good that they will also discourage you from jumping into a higher level. There will be your boss who will say that I'll take care of you, right? And you only follow me. So whatever he does, you also do. Ultimately, if he doesn't progress, you also don't progress. So see, your focus, your desire, your commitment, your perseverance is your own thing, right? And if you are planning to do really something great, make a life out of it, I would say follow only one person, and that is yourself, right? Of course, take advice, learn from others, but if it is in alignment with your goals, if it is an alignment with the kind of person that you think you are going to become and you had planned to become, only then it is nice to follow them. Otherwise, different people will come in life, like passengers get onto the same train, but they will all get at different stops. Your stop would be very different, your destination would be very different, and therefore you can only handshake with those passengers. They will all get down from your life at some or the other point, and you only remain focused with your idea and be with people who they can take you to that particular goal. And I'll tell you, as I said about law of attraction, that thing will happen automatically. Okay, that's because if you are ultra positive, you will keep attracting such people in your life, such skills in your life. There's a very simple saying that you are what you are and you are where you are because of what goes into your mind. So if you want to change yourself, you have to change what goes into your mind. Okay. So when you listen to somebody, as I said, when you do not want to get carried away, you have to get your mind working. You have to filter, unwanted impressions which do not match or resonate with the way you have planned your success. So do not just plan success in terms of money, plan success in terms of health, plan success in terms of happiness also, right? Money can get you happiness, but it can never buy you, another bout of oxygen that you want for your life. It cannot, relieve you from the pain that you will have to suffer, okay, because of bad health, right? And when health is lost, everything is lost. And I would say, health, family, and other things also must be figured in the plan that you make, the blueprint that you make when you talk about commitment and desires. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a very brilliant sloka, okay, that talks about you keeping your mind very strong, and that is Uddharet Atmanatmanam Na Atmanam Avasadayet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripur Atmanah. Uddharet Atmanatmana means use the power of your mind to elevate yourself. Don't degrade. The mind is your best friend, or if you want, it can be your worst enemy also. As I said, you have the choice, whether you want to uplift yourself or you want to degrade yourself. So what comes into your mind, what you listen, what you process, each of these things matter. Okay, and it's really up to you what you want your mind to process and the way you want to take it forward. Okay, with that, I close my talk with the mantra that I gave you at the beginning again, and that is, wherever focus goes, energy flows. Thank you very much. I'm ready for questions if you have any.
If you talk on focus, when we have to commit something, for example, we have to commit for do the startup or do the business. So first we have to commit, then we have to start. We have to focus on that. But how go to the parallel with that to perseverance and faith of that uh, startups and studies and all other things?
Okay. Right. So, see, in a simple answer to that, or rather, I would say there are two answers to it. One is inspirational answer that if you seek, inspirational answer is that perseverance has got no barometer of measure कि इतना perseverance होना चाहिए, इतना cross हो गया तो अभी छोड़ देंगे and all. There is no barometer. It is only your trust, your instinct, your gut feel about your own idea. If your startup idea is good, if your business idea is good, and if you stick to it, ultimately there will be a turnaround. Okay, I think a good example of that would be Jeff Bezos. I hope you have read about him earlier. Okay, Amazon
Yes.
owner. Jeff
Yes, sir.
Bezos, right? From 1992 to 1998. Okay, let me tell you, Amazon was a straight loss-making company in their balance sheets. Every year, year after year, they were in super duper loss. And the whole idea was to only sell books. Okay, sell books online. Okay, that was basically the idea that Amazon started with. But somewhere, Jeff Bezos in the background was also working, okay, in upskilling himself time and again, and as soon as, see, the vision was very clear. He knew that he was on the right path. ठीक है, अभी गाड़ी slow है, right? अभी हम गली गली में से चल रहे हैं, लेकिन very soon the highway will get opened once for me, and there I will drive with full speed. Probably, that is an example of super duper perseverance. The non-inspirational answer, a more technical answer, if you are seeking, I would say, is market research the viability of your idea well. Okay,
Yes, sir.
you definitely have learned about market research a lot, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am myself from IIM Kozhikode marketing background, and ideas keep coming here. Ideas to I say दिन में 10 आ जाते हैं, right? But if you actually take it to a market research, you do a proper survey, you do a FGD and all of that, focus group discussions and all of that, you learn. You will realize that what seems sometimes billion-dollar ideas to you might not. The market might not be ready for it. I'm not saying they might not work out, but they may need some kind of an adjustment somewhere or the other, right? And if you do not have enough capital, if you do not have enough family background and family support, that you must assess, and for that you must honestly, as I said, honesty with yourself is also very important. Honestly assess yourself कि ये हो सकता है क्या, इतना साल मैं stretch कर सकता हूँ क्या, can I give myself 4 or 5 years till the market matures for this. If it is great, then stick to it, come what may. There may be changes to your plan sometime or the other. Jeff Bezos started selling things online like books, but today if you see he is probably more of a cloud service provider. Okay, retail space he's owning entirely in multiple countries, but he's moved into multiple technologies. But as I said, those things, if you do a market research, you will also know that there are certain voids in us also. There are some skill gaps within us, and those skill gaps we need to fulfill. चलो एक और मंत्र देता हूँ तुमको, okay, based on what you just asked. Okay, this is something that I have applied practically in my life also. The mantra is will, इच्छा, will होनी चाहिए, will. Second is skill, and third is refill. Okay, will, skill and refill, right? Can you do this, then you will be successful throughout. Will होनी चाहिए कि okay, I have to set up my own business on these lines. Second is gather the necessary skills for it, and that's where, as I said, the market research will be very, very helpful. Okay, speaking to the right people will be very helpful. And once you have done that, and once you have seen some progress, repeat this same cycle again. Constantly check, is your will still in the same direction, or if your skills are also adequate, या फिर कुछ नया reskilling करना है. Will, skill, refill चालू रखना चाहिए लाइफ में. Never stop it. Okay.
So,
I
thank
hope
you,
that
sir.
answers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Poonam, what was your question? Please
Yes.
repeat it again.
Poonam is asking how should we manage our time. Is that right, Poonam? Yes, Poonam. So, see, all right. Managing our time is, or making a timetable and all that, I would say is, you would find it in most books, or you would find YouTube में thousands and thousands of videos around it. But I would put it very differently. I would say that managing time का issue नहीं है. Okay, time is limited, I understand. But as I said in between, managing your own energy is very important. Even if you're working 8 hours a day, okay, and you manage everything right, you have to know at which point in time in that 8 hours is your energy the highest. Okay, if you are extremely, good, the moment you get up in the morning and doing your work, do that most important decision making, do it then. Lot of times, ऐसा होता है, even we sometimes see that in our daily lives, even we see sometimes it is represented in movies and all of that also. People come in the evening, okay, back home, and sometimes they're asked to take a decision, okay. But इतने थक गए होते हैं कि nobody wants to take a decision at that time. Sometimes, evening times are not great for some people. And then there are some people like the great A.R. Rahman, the musician. He only composes during night time, they say. Okay, he sleeps during the whole day. Knowing when your energy is the highest and what thing you can do when matters a lot. I don't know if you have observed or if you have read it somewhere. Both Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, right? They wear the same kind of clothing, okay, all the time, right? If you have seen Steve Jobs, whether it is a board meeting or whether it is in his office, whether he is traveling, he will simply have a polo T-shirt, a full T-shirt, and a pair of jeans that he would have the same black and blue combination. The reason they say is because he didn't want to waste his energy on thinking what cloth to wear. So उसने एक जैसे सब कपड़े बना के रख लिए थे, right? Cognitive energy ना हमारे पास thinking energy बहुत कम होता है. So you have to utilize it very wisely. So इसीलिए the moment you are fresh morning when you get up, you open your mobile and you spend time going through your unnecessary WhatsApp forwards or your Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, and all of that. When your energy is very high, you are really wasting it. Okay, so I would say, Poonam, focus on managing your energy, okay, within your time schedule. How do you manage your time? If literally I were to answer, maintain a timetable on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. At least to begin with, a monthly basis you should have. All right. I hope that answers.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि मतलब हम लोग को जब अभी प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए चाहिए तो वी हैव टू अपडेट विद डिफरेंट कोर्सेज, मतलब डिफरेंट कोर्सेज से अपडेट होना चाहिए, या फिर हम लोग को जिस सेक्टर में जाना है उसी के जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में जाना है तो गो थ्रू विद डिजिटल मार्केटिंग एंड अपडेट विद दैट, और वी हैव टू अपडेट विद डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स बिकॉज नाउ द कंडीशन इज दैट मेरे हिसाब से मैंने जो रिसर्च किया है, जो मतलब मेरे को दिखता है कि दे टेक ऑल इन वन, मतलब एम्प्लॉयज को जो वो लोग लेंगे जो वो ऑल इन वन होगा, रिक्रूटर जो फ्रेशर्स, इनको कई चीजें आती जो हैंडल कर ले. सो मेरा आंसर ये है आपसे पूछना कि डिफरेंट कोर्सेज इज बेटर और वी हैव टू स्पेसिफाइड विद सेक्टर एंड डू द कोर्स.
नहीं, सी skills जितने ज्यादा हो, it doesn't hurt anytime. Okay, the more skills you have, the better always is my opinion. Okay, because even if I were to recruit you, let's say I am going to recruit you, I will always want you to have multiple skills. Okay, compared to somebody who is probably specialized in one area. But that doesn't mean that you really do not have in-depth knowledge of any particular field. You should have jack of all trades बोलते हैं, तो jack ऊपर से नहीं. You should have decent in-depth practical knowledge in all the areas. If you are going to attain that, that is fine. Then that is absolutely okay. See, as I mentioned about myself only, I learned programming. I was teaching programming, but then I also went on to IMK and did my marketing. If you actually look at my background, many people would say that कि अरे electrical क्यों किया, फिर यही करना था तो, right? But मेरा engineering background has helped me in doing engineering projects also. Okay, nothing ever you learned ever goes to waste. And when I learned programming, okay, and when I went to marketing, we were seated in a classroom where we were once given a lot of a project work which had to do a lot of data mining. Now, in a class of 25 that we were also at that time, everybody was looking at each other's face कि data इतना हम लोग process कैसे करें. And I was already writing a program where the processing happened because I knew programming, I knew how to deal with databases. As I said, कोई भी skill हम पढ़ते हैं कभी waste नहीं जाता. Okay, everything ultimately life जो देती है, I understand spirituality a bit differently. Everything is a raw material that is provided to you. You ultimately process and only take what you want in life. Ultimately life में आपको एक डोर स्टेप पे लाके रखेगी. If you look back, you will think अरे हाँ अच्छा हो गया मैंने ये किया था, तब जाके ये सब काम आ रहा है मुझे.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Mohsin, if there are questions, I think if you even want to speak to me personally, I could probably help you with that. I have a YouTube channel. If you can even visit me on my website, it's called as AskSatishLifeGuide.com. I'll just put it on the chat also. Okay, this is my website. Okay, www.AskSatishLifeGuide.com. You can even visit me there, or my YouTube channel also on the same lines, uh, where you can again find a lot of more videos that I've spoken about. Okay, but this was a very interesting session, friends, and think thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, Mosin.
Thank you, sir, for your
Yeah,
valuable time.